Namaskar, Salam Alaikum, Walakam, Sastri Akal.
You are listening to the Sunday Breath that inspires creatives to pursue their passion and not be discouraged in these tough times.
Today we have with us someone who has an extensive experience across domains like oil and gas, telecom, metal and mining, consumer goods, and many more. He has completed his MS from Georgia Institute of Management and then moved to ISB Hyderabad for his MBA.
So we have Mr. Abhishek Srivastav. He is the co-founder and CEO of MBA Trek, which is a career development and nurturing firm aiming to help graduates and undergraduates in getting industry ready. So how are you feeling, sir?
I'm feeling well. Been a COVID warrior myself. Way back in February, so I'm all good right now. Went through the second wave like everybody else. But things are looking up. I think economy is opening back up. Business is looking good, and I'm really looking forward to COVID-free year, I guess, with everybody getting vaccinated.
Yes, sir. We all are looking forward to it. So we'll start with our question, sir. You are the co-founder of MBA Trek, which is a career development and nurturing firm, and aiming to transform MBAs, MS, and MTechs. So can you please share with us how you came up with this idea?
Yeah. So it's a great question, Mukul. It's a big point of passion for me throughout my corporate experience, whether it was at Accenture or Apple. I always was very good at working with people, nurturing them. I had a lot of young analysts and consultants, and a lot of young people would come to me for mentorship, for advice. And I started doing that in almost my daily life, right? It became part of my bloodstream, if I had to say it, right? And this is how it really me going and thinking, hey, I'm doing this in a very informal way, and it slightly got better and more formal. I became a registered mentor with my alma maters, the Georgia Institute of Technology, Georgia Tech, and ISB. But even then I felt, I'm doing this, but I'm not doing this at scale, right? I can change 5 people's, 10 people's lives in a year. Can I change what we are achieving today is 30,000 people in a year? Or actually, we want to go even faster, 50,000, 100,000, 200,000, 500,000, why not? Right? And with technology, there is no limitation. But then, obviously, when you work 10, 12 years into your career, it's a big decision point, right? You have a lot of things going for you. There are home loans. There's a lot of income pressure. You're raising a family as well. So what do? Do you step into the world of startups? Do you open your own business? Do you continue with work and try to work overnight? And I realized essentially I was doing 2 jobs at the same time. I was working my full-time job when I was doing MBA Trek in the night, and that's when I took a call. It's my passion. One has to learn how to monetize it.
Definitely, sir, and there's a lot to learn from you. So our next question would be, as we have seen the transformation of the education industry from being offline to being completely online now. So has this transformation affected MBA Trek?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, it's a wonderful question, Mitushi. It's one of the hard calls you take as an entrepreneur. We pre-COVID we were almost completely B2B business. So we used to work directly at campuses and with companies. So with companies, we used to train entry-level people and do onboarding and sort of hiring training. With campuses, we used to do a lot of placement and skill development programs right on the campus. So we used to go travel. Some work used to happen online through assessments and whatnot, but primarily all the sessions and everything were on campus. And I myself have traveled to over 50 campuses lately. And all of that stopped on 24th March 2020. Did I get the date right? Was it 24th or 20th?
I think 22nd, I guess, 22nd.
Okay, so 22nd. Oh, that was I think the Janta curfew, and then the full curfew came.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 21st. So it all changed. It changed overnight. The thing is, we were starting to see that EdTech or skill tech is moving towards online delivery, because if you have to deliver this at scale, you can travel to 100 institutes in a year. but you can't travel to 1,000 institutes in a year. There is no way you can do that.
Yes, sir.
You can't even have a team physically that large that can go and travel. So the answer will lie with technology, and we have completely embraced it. Our new website completely revamped with a lot of new features and tools is testament to that. We are also building a wonderful app, and by the way, you're the first external party which is hearing about this, that we're building a guided learning app and a journey app. And what this app does is it's like a buddy on your shoulder. So
Great,
it
sir.
will give you content, it will give you assessments, it will give you a lot of things based on your career choices. So it doesn't force a career choice on you. It doesn't tell you have to be a product manager because that's the only a job which gives you a 20 lakh rupee salary. Right? So it tries to figure out through a little bit of artificial intelligence, machine learning, but a lot of the research we've done over a period of like 4-5 years now. Think of if you've ever seen those Tom and Jerry cartoons where there's an angel and a devil on your shoulder.
Yes, sir.
Right? So this is the angel on the shoulder. That's how far we want to go into technology, that deep into a student or young person's life.
So our listeners, as you have heard, Sir has said that we are the first one to know about the application that MBA Trek is coming up with. So it's an unofficial launch, I can say.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
So-
puts a lot of pressure on us. The cat is out of the bag.
Yeah. As you have worked with different industries like telecom, consulting, and energy in different profiles related to business development or strategy. So, what major difference did you notice among the three?
So let me break it down into three ways. One is the rhythm of the industry itself, right? When I say rhythm is how quickly does the industry innovate, right? So because I was in consulting and we used to consult for heavy industries, you could see that heavier industries, especially likes of let's say power or utilities or mining, are very slow to move. They are typically monopolies or duopolies where it's 2 or 3 companies which typically run the whole show. These are extremely large companies, probably as old as 50 years or 100 years. Things move slowly and they move in an extremely structured and process-driven manner, right? Because that is how these industries have survived for that long. They're almost like foundational industries to the world, right? Whereas if you compare that to, let's say, Accenture where I was working, which is consulting, right? Consulting is very, very dynamic. Consulting would change in a jiffy. In fact, now consultants are completely mastered the art of doing remote working. Whereas earlier, the whole point of hiring consultants was to have them in your company,
Yes, sir.
right? Roaming around in the office or in the factory and looking at stuff, auditing things. But today, all of this is being done remotely somehow, right? Because of COVID and whatnot. So consulting is a very fast-moving industry. So the rhythm is very different. The other pieces, let's say, look at hardware where I finished off, which was Apple, right? The hardware technology industry, if I would say, is a mix of both.
Okay, sir.
Is very process driven, but nimble enough that it moves also, right? So companies like Apple or Samsung have very structured processes, large companies, very bureaucratic, but they also have the ability to suddenly produce this amazing device. For example, Apple got the ECG, the mini ECG in the watch, right? That is now it is a life-saving device. It has been, I think, a couple of agencies in the US have marked it as a life-saving device,
Yes.
right? And if through IoT and all that, it can tell a doctor when somebody's had a heart attack.
Yes, sir.
Like, that is insane, right? That is amazing. Like, think about it, right? And I think that is the fundamental differences between the industry. The second set of differences, I think, is how these industries are connected to their customers, right? So if you look at the really heavy industries, their relationship is very business to business, and they don't necessarily worry too much about day-to-day business interaction, their business is based on pricing and volume. Can you offer the best volume at the best price, right? The most volume at the best price. If you come to consulting, consulting is all about the customer. It is a perception-based industry. You have to keep the customer happy all the time, right? Because they are paying for people and services. Whereas if you come to, let's say, the hardware kind of industry, hardware electronics, consumer electronics setup, I think it's very different. There, the focus is more about educating the customer, because consumer electronics or hardware electronics as an industry moves faster than the consumer. Right? So they are able to create products that the customers have never imagined. We never thought we would use a smartphone. Life was working fine. I mean, I don't know about you all, but I've used a normal dialer phone. Cordless used to work absolutely fine. Life was absolutely fine before that. You didn't need Google Maps to reach some place. You could just stop at the closest panwala and ask directions. But it was consumer electronics who came to us and said, "Hey, by the way, there is something called a smartphone. You all need it, right? And here's the internet. You all need it. There are devices which work on the internet. You also need that." So I think that industry tends to be far ahead, and therefore they educate customers more comparatively than the others. I hope that makes sense. Probably slightly technical response to your question.
It totally makes sense, sir.
Another question that we had was like, you won the Outstanding Master Student Award. What all efforts did you put in to win that one?
That's long back. That's almost 14, 15 years back now. That also reminds me of my age. I think one of the things that I'm very proud of is achieving it at Georgia Tech, because there were people from about 20, 25 nationalities in my batch. For me, I think the academics was one part of it. But I think because, by the way, I was voted and nominated by my batch. So I never nominated myself. But I was surprised to know that I was nominated. I was nominated by the faculty and the batch both. And I think it was because of all the other things I did around academics as well. So I was very involved in conducting career fairs and events for the department. My industry projects and all I think were very relevant. My research project itself was also a very hard project that I was working on. And it had really, it was coming across very beautifully. And I think in general, I think one thing which helped me, it sounds like a strange answer, is it was very good connecting with people. So people knew about me and people knew about what I was doing. And I did not do it as if I was a PR person or marketing myself. I just like talking and connecting with everybody. So I would help people with, even with their homework. So something as simple as that. Or I would work with professors when I had some free time to say, can you give me a small project? I have some time free during my internship period. I can do something for you. So I did a lot of different things. And I guess that recognition came together. And maybe that helped me build the reward.
So you had this passion of helping others in education and in their career building from the very start, like long time back.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. Maybe I honestly, Mitushi, that's a great point. I didn't think of it then. I was too young in my career to be helping people really from a guidance standpoint. But yes, I did help people because I was sort of in the international community. I was one of the first ones to get a job and getting jobs in the internationally is really hard, right? The whole immigration challenge and all that. And ours was the year that there was a big spike in the H-1B visa. So a lot of people didn't get jobs and then, had to apply later and all that. So yeah, it was and this was very close to the financial crisis actually, 2008-9 crisis in the US. So yeah, I guess you're right. Maybe that passion does come from there.
So now we have a short game with us, sir. So we'll ask you questions 5 questions will be there, and you have to answer them shortly.
You're gonna have a challenge with me, but I'll try. Yeah.
Okay. So, sir, the first question is Apple, Schneider, or Accenture, and why?
Apple, innovative, brilliant.
Okay, great.
Okay.
A stranger's first impression of yours would be
Talks too much.
okay.
I would say just like me.
So, is MBA Track a hierarchical or a flat organization?
Flat, very flat, very, very flat.
Okay, great. And favorite publication of yours?
The one I wrote,
Yes, sir.
I think it would be my master's research. It was really hard. That was 6 months, 7 months of really hard. And I'm proud to say that it's been actually used by the US EPA, in my understanding. So it was not only a theoretical research.
Okay, great. So, what was your? Okay, can I ask you, sir, what was the topic of your research?
Oh, it's actually something very close to all of our hearts. It was connecting epidemiological risk with air pollution concentration. This was a study done for the city of Atlanta. So the idea is when an air pollution episode happens, which used to happen in Atlanta quite a bit, how people fall sick in terms of coming to hospital for either heart-related disease or lung-related cardiovascular disease.
Okay. So, our last question would be, sir, what do you do to relax?
I play with my 2.5-year-old daughter. Best
Okay.
relaxation ever.
So great, sir. Kids are really great, actually. So, thank you so much for coming here. Thank you so much. You agreed on for doing this, and we had a really, really great chat with you.
एंड गाइज आपको ये वीडियो कैसी लगी, इसका जो बेस्ट पार्ट है प्लीज़ कमेंट सेक्शन में हमें बताइए, और जो चीज़ ख़राब लगी वो भी हमें बताइए, सो दैट वी कैन इम्प्रूव ऑन इट. एंड इफ़ यू लाइक द वीडियो, सो प्रेस ऑन द लाइक बटन, subscribe to our channel if you are not a subscriber yet, or share this with your friends and family, and see you in the next video. Thank you so much.